So far, we have touched HTML and CSS and learned how to create a web page, describe the content on the page using HTML tags, and style it using CSS. Hello, Andres here. Welcome to the part 4. We learned so far HTML. We know how to create a file, how to open it in browser, how to apply tags, how to use code editor, what kind of tags we can use, some of them at least. And also we learn how to style web page. So what is CSS, how to apply CSS, and now we want to learn JavaScript. Now we will use JavaScript to catch some events on the page and use them to change colors to our color mixer. What are events? So events are everything what you can do on the page. Let's say I'm clicking somewhere on a page, let's say here, changing color. That's event. I clicked, it's changed color. JavaScript can listen to this event and pass that information somewhere else. So let's say to some tag here, which will change color. And that's JavaScript power. That's not only click events, there are also like scroll events and resize events. So if I'm resizing screen, JavaScript knows the size of the things on the page. So that's all JavaScript power. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a scripting or programming language. With JavaScript, you can implement complex features on the web page. For example, JavaScript can listen to events on the page and react to them, right? So this is what we learn now. So, but let's start with simple example. How to add JavaScript to the page. Similarly, like with CSS, we can add it in a head part, like so. Now we am saving page, going here. Let's close this part. And here we go on the page load event. So when page loads, browser reads line by line. When it comes here, it sees this command alert, and that will open this dialog and will stop everything on the page till you click OK. Now I'm clicking, now the page appears. That's quite annoying, isn't it? Similar like JavaScript, we can add some of the code to the specific tags, but that's not a good idea. So the best way to do it, since browser reads everything line by line, let's add our JavaScript at the end of the page, just before the closing body tag. We can add JavaScript like that. Let's first create file. So let's open our folders and let's create new file and call it main.js. And let's do the same thing. Alert, hello world. So we need to pass this string here as well, and that's how we will do it. And we're choosing main.js. Now if we will refresh this page, there we go, and we're having the same effect. Before jumping forward, let's see what actually JavaScript can do. And for that, we can actually use browser itself. We will use developer tool, and one of the ways how to open is by pressing Command Option I, or we can go into View, choose Developer and Developer Tools, right? So this will open this panel. It might look different on your browser, and this depends on the size. So it changes a little bit in layout. Don't be worried about that. So just find console, and if you whatever you write here, it will be parsed directly into browser, and whatever you will do here will happen in a browser. So simple thing that we can do, calculate two numbers, 3 plus 4, 7, right? Now we can also assign those numbers to variables. That's a very fast crash course how to use JavaScript. You can call variables whatever you want. Let's say A is 3 and B is 6, and now we can calculate together, and we can assign something else as well. So let's say sum is A plus B and sum is 9. Here we go. So what happened here? First of all, we can use JavaScript directly to calculate values. We can assign values to variables. Variable names can be anything. And then we can actually take those variables and calculate together and assign to the third variable. In this short example, you'll learn a lot of things right away. So first of all, we can create variables. Variables can have different names. We can assign values to variables. It could be numbers or strings or other functions. And we don't know what is function, but we will learn in a second. And we can assign results to some other variables and use those variables somewhere else. So that's a real crash course in everything. So let's go back to our main.js and do some magic here now. Let's create our first function. Let's delete this nonsense. So how you create functions in JavaScript? That's a function. This is how you declare your function, and you have to give some name to it. So let's say show alert, and now we will open and close these parentheses, and then we will open curly braces, and this is function's body. So that's a keyword function, and this is the name of the function, which can be anything, whatever you want. In these parentheses, you can add arguments. You can pass something in, or you can not pass in. So that's your choice. And that's a function. So if you refresh page, nothing will happen. We need to put something in. Let's say again, alert hello from function. Nothing happened. Why? Because we created function, but we didn't use it yet. So we have to call it out. And this is how you call it out. So now we're saying, hey, call this function out. And if we try again, then hello from function. We also can pass something inside in the function and receive it here. Let's say hello world. So we're passing this string, and then we have to receive it here. Let's call greetings. And now I will use template literals to make my life easier. And this is again some big topic, but I will skip for now. And let's pass greetings. And this is how you can pass variable directly into string. And let's try again. Hello world, hello from function. So what happened there actually? We call this function, we passed inside the string, which we received here, and we can use it directly there. Now we need a way to connect our JavaScript program with the DOM nodes or tags. So we need to know when we're clicking how we can get this information here, right? Currently, our JavaScript runs something and shows greetings in console. Now we need to learn just one more thing to get done with our color mixer. We need a way to connect our JavaScript program with DOM nodes or tags. But before that, let's remove this alert as this one because it's very annoying, and let's learn one other way how we can get something in a browser to see. We can say console.log and we will pass the same thing out. Here we go. Hello from the function, right? So what happened here? This is special way how we can instruct browser to show anything that we want to show and see in a debugger mode. This is for us, for developers, how we can speak with the browser itself. How can we get all those events? So let's see what we actually can do. So let's go to our index page, do something for fun. Somewhere here, just after the title tag, let's add p tag, add id tag output. So we want something from JavaScript to output here. So we can get something out there. Let's try out. So let's go back to our main. We need a way how we can get this p tag. We're writing const. This is keyword, and now we're creating new variable output. And now we want to grab that p tag, and that's how we can do it. There are multiple ways, but one of the ways we can grab it by ID. Document get element by ID, and let's say what ID we want output. So what happens here? That's our document here basically. And in browser we can grab call document, and then we can say there is a property that we can use, method that we can use, get element by ID, and this method waits for string, the name of ID we want to grab. We created p tag with ID output, and now we're using this output here and grabbing. Now, what is this output now? This output is a node, the node which will be here in a second. So let's see how this node looks like maybe. Console log, let's see what's there actually. Output, and go back, refresh. Here we go. And this is exactly what we're getting from browser, right? So now you have it in a JavaScript, and now we can do something with that. So we can pass some strings in there. So let's try to do that. So we have our output, and now we can write inner HTML. That's another special thing that we can use on the node. And now we can pass greeting in here. Let's say greetings, and let's see what's happening now. Hello world. So now think about it. What happened really? In our JavaScript code, which was running in our index file, so we have this JavaScript code here in HTML, and in our JavaScript code, we got some kind of element on the page, and then in that element, we passed in a string, which we passed from here, and now it's on the screen. If that is not cool, then I don't know. Let's go to the next part. Here you have it. We use variable to save the DOM node. In our case, that is b tag with ID output. The DOM node has property inner HTML. Yeah. So let's just recap, which can give or take strings. So we pass the string which we assigned inside argument of greetings. Brilliant. And now we can move to next part. Now we want opposite actually as well. We want something to receive from the node when we need this add event listener. Now that's exactly how it's called. First of all, we will do one thing. We want to make sure that our code runs after everything else is loaded in the page. And for that, we have as well something very special. I will open a new line. We will grab whole window and add event listener, and we will use event called load, and then we will call, let's say, function startup, which we'll have to create. Third option we don't need, so we will pass false. We will have it on the top of the page actually. When the whole page is loaded, and only after it's loaded, we will call this function. So let's do exactly like that. And now we will learn one new thing. We can use functions in functions. We call this function and we will move everything inside here. Command X and Command V. We can paste it out. So here you have it. And let's try again. And everything works exactly in the same way. But we added this listener so we know for sure that all page will be loaded. And only after the page is loaded, we will run this command. And that means we 100% sure that we will get this element at any time. And to prove it what it works, we will learn one more thing. You can comment things out. So if we do like that, then browser will ignore this line when it's parsing out JavaScript. And let's see what happens now. Nothing happens. You see that string is not here because we didn't call the function. So after there were no load events, so this function is here, but nobody calls it. So we want to call it out, right? So here you are. And let's try again. And our hello world is here now. Now let's try to do something different and let's try to do opposite. Let's get this event to show here so we can use it somewhere. Let's try to do that. And for that, what we need for that, yes, we need to go into index.html and find select element. So we already gave ID direction. So let's grab this element by ID and there are all the values inside. So we want to get this value out whenever we change because we need it to use, right? So let's try to do exactly that. Let's delete all this nonsense and let's do differently. Now we want to create properly const and then let's call it direction option document query selector ID. Yeah, here we go. So we got the select element has ID direction and we're getting this element exactly. And now we want to use it. And for that, we need to assign event listener to that. And how are we doing that? So very easy, actually. We're taking direct option and add event listener. And we explain what we want to listen. So we want to listen to change event. Remember, there are click event, change event, and many others. So in this case, we need to use change because on the select box changing. And then we need to pass method what we want to use when we're changing something. So let's create new method, update direction, and the third is false. Okay, so this is how it looks like. We got the node select, and then we attach to this select listener, which will act on change, and this will call this function. So now we have to actually create this function, right? So let's create it. Function direction. Once this function is called, there will be passed event itself with loads of properties. We'll see it in a second. Let's try to see actually console log what is e. Let's do like that and see what happens now. If I'm going to change now, and here we go, we have event, and this event has a load of properties, and we're interested in target because this target will give us a value. And you see all the options is here as well. So there is a load of things happening, but you can use from there. But in our case, that's very easy. What we want to do, we will call it direction. The event has a load of properties, as you saw before. There are loads of them, and one of them are target, and the target has value. and we are assigning this value to directions. And now we can try to see what kind of directions are there. Let's see. So if we are choosing something, so it pass out this to left bottom. Where does it get this to left bottom? Let's see. And it got from our select tag. Here we go, to left bottom. So these are values, right? Whenever we will change, we will get this value. And that's actually, as you see, now we're speaking to the other side. So now that whatever we user doing in browser will be passed into JavaScript, and now we can use it. In the same way, we will do it with colors, and now we can create a change in gradient. And that's it. Very simple, right? Let's go back to our main JS and try to do exactly that. We want to update this background, right? So we have to create a method where we will do this exactly. So the function. So let's create function called update background, and we won't pass anything in that function because we will do a little bit different everything. We will use this direction, but we will assign this direction up front. And for now, it will be, what is the first value we're using? The first value we're using to write. Let's grab this value, copy, go back and add it here. That's direction. And now we will remove const here because we will use this direction from the global scope in the global of the startup function. This variable is accessible from inside of this function, and that's beauty of this thing, but we can reuse it now just for simplicity. And instead of console log, we want to update our background, so we will call it out update background. So we will update something here. So when user change select box, we will assign new value to direction variable and override whatever is inside here, and we will update background. Let's see if it works. So let's say log, and we will add direction here. And now let's see, refreshing page, nothing is here. And now we will change, and now we have direction with new value. If we try to change again, here we go, right stop. Yeah, let's go back to right. Here we go. So whenever we're changing, we getting this updated direction. Now we need to use it somehow, right? Let's try to use it. We will create new variable here inside background. And this background is going to be, actually we can go to CSS style and find, we need this line. We want to override this line, and let's put it like that in template literals. And now instead of to right, we will pass this direction inside. We will override, okay? And to do that, we will use this parentheses and direction. Now let's see what happens now. To right, and nothing happens. Why? Because we're changing here and adding to variable, but we are not doing with that variable anything, right? So we need to grab this box, and how we can do that? Let's see. So I'm clicking on this corner and moving over element and clicking again. And now I can see actually how this element looks like. Let's move this a little bit down. And we see what this element has ID mix. And if we don't believe in that, we can go here and find, here we go, mix. So we need this ID and we want to use it. Let's copy this one. Let's copy this line. Let's add, this is an element mix. ID is mix. And I want this on top of that one. So we grab this element and now we can use it down here. Let's use it. So we have element mix, and now we want to use new property style, and style has background, and we're passing inside background. So we're passing this string inside with this direction, which will change on user choosing select. So let's try again, let's refresh. And here you have it. So whenever I'm changing this style. Here we go. You see, this is the style that we're changing by JavaScript. So on the first page load, it will use CSS, but we already assigned value. So these background colors here. Now when I'm changing, it overrides with style on top of the P tag and top left. And here we go again. And here we go again. So it change value all the time, right? And by changing this value, it will change gradient direction. Now we just need few more things. Basically, we just need to add those events here. If we're changing something on top on there, it should change colors here, right? Let's do exactly that. And that's basically copy paste what we already did. Let's remove this console for now. First, we will add this line here with color names properly. What we have here in index, I think we added something that we don't need. This output we don't need anymore. Play with that. We can remove that. And we have gradient where we want to add color names actually. So we have ID. Let's go back. Again, let's just copy paste. Let's call it gradient, obviously, and gradient. So we're getting again query selector by ID and assigning to gradient. So this node is here now. And let's use it in our update background function, right? And we already know how to do it. So inner HTML, and we're passing in background, image, and then background. So now we know it, all right. Okay, and if we change, there we go. And now we see exactly what direction we're using. We don't know about colors yet. We have to add, those are hard-coded, but we at least know exactly what will be passed there. And now we have colors. That's all we left, right? So we have those two colors and we want to grab them. Let's add ID, and this would be obviously left. Not the best way probably, but okay. And this, in that case, should be right. And add also some default value. And what values do we have here actually by default? Let's grab those values for one side. Where we are, here we go. So this will be here. And we need hash as well. And hash there. And from style, we will grab this one. So we adding default values for there. Refresh, you see those values are the same what is there, so they are kind of keep the same. And for fullness, name left, name right. We added ID, we added default values, and now we can move and use it. Why not? So this will be color picker left and document query selector left. And since I'm lazy, I'm copy pasting. There we go. So we have color picker left and right. What else we need? We have gradients. Actually, let's make it there. I don't know why, but I like that way. So we have mix, pickers, directions, gradients. What else we need? So we need left color and right color. Why do we need left and right color? Okay, so there is the thing. Well, we have this color picker here, but we need these labels as well to color. Let's see the element. So we want the label to have the same color as the color picker inside. So we need to somehow add that. So let's try to add that as well. And for that, we need those two colors to have. So let's call them left color, and let's add default value as well. And the same, right color, and default values is these ones. Okay. Don't forget about hash and other one. So we have default values here as well. Nice. So we have default values. We have color pickers already there. What else we missing? We have to grab those colors. That's interesting actually. You see, we're using color class for both labels, and actually we can grab both of them in one go. And that's something new for you. Before we used IDs to grab any element, but actually we can grab by class as well. So we want both colors, document, query selector, all. You see, not selector, but query selector all, and we will grab by colors. And what it gives back? Array. What is array? Let me show you in a quick example. Let's say we have 3 variables, and we having on each of those variables some kind of value like 1, 2, and 3. And that's all right, and you can deal with that. But let's say you want to loop and something do else with those values, and that would be a bit hard. So other way how to do it, you can do like that, const r, and you open those brackets and you say 1, 2, and 3. And here we go, that's an array. So it keeps 3 values. But how can you get one of those values? Let's go into browser and I'll show you the same example. Let me copy this line. So in a browser, we will go into console mode. That was this one. And copying in. So we have this array. If I write array, I'll get this kind of data. But let's say I want this number 1 to get out. How can I get this number 1? And this is how we're getting. We're writing r, we're calling this variable, which has array inside, and then we're writing index. And index starts not from 1, but from 0. Here we go. And now I got the value 1 out. And if I want value 3, then obviously I would write what? Yes, you guessed it right. We would write index 2, because we started from 1. So 0, 1, and 2. Yeah? So that's an array, and let's go back and use this in our code. So firstly, we will delete this example. And so those nodes in element colors come as arrays, so we have to use it in that way. So let's use element colors, and let's go here, and what we're going to do. So we want to get element colors, and that's an array. So I take first value like that, and now I can take style, background, and you know the drill, right? So what we want here. So first value is left, so we will write left color, exactly. And let's copy this line. And the same we will do here. All we need to do is change this 1 to 1, and the left will be right. So that's done. Let's see if that changed something, but nothing's changed. Why? We missing still few things. And what we missing here? What we missing? We have direct options. We add event listener, but we need to add also same for color pickers, right? So we have color pickers, but we are not using those nodes. So let's add change. And we need new methods as well for that. So this will be update left and false. And let's create same for color picker right. Here we go. So we're missing those 2 methods. Let's create quickly those methods as well. Function, update left. We receive event. In a function, what we want to do in a function, we want to update our value, right? Our left color should be target value, and we can create another function and do the same, and let's call it right, update right, and we're updating right color. So is that, I think that's okay now, and let's go again. Let's try now. We will change and nothing happens. What do we miss now? And here we go. We updating the values here, but what we forgot to update itself, we not updating the background itself. So yes, we're updating the values, but the background method is not invoked. So all we have to do now is to add update background in here, and then in update right as well, and one more place. We want on a start as well. So let's do it here as well, update background. So we're adding here as well, because once the load application, we want everything already loaded on the page. So here we go. And there you have it. Now let's try now. Oh, but it didn't change here. So we're missing again something. Let's see what we are missing now. We're changing color. Let's change there. This one as well works. So we're missing something else. What else we're missing? Let's see. Let's go from the start and try to figure out. We have color pickers. We're adding the event listeners. And then we updating right, update left, update directions. So let's make those functions in one place. So it's make more sense. So update background is the one that we're calling out. And let's check our update background function. So we getting background here, that's correct. Element mix we're adding and gradient. And here we go. So we have background color and we're changing directions, but we forgot to change this value as well. This is hard-coded value. So what we want to add here? We want to add this left color in the same style, yeah? So let's do it. And copy paste, and then we will add right color as well. Right. Okay, and let's go back. Let's try again. There we go. And now it works as expected. And we can change directions. We can change colors and create some amazing color schemas. And we can copy this value and use in CSS as well. So here we go. There is color mixer. What we want to do next? We want to publish this work because now it's only on your computer and you definitely want to see somewhere else as well and show friends and maybe put even in a comment of this video. Let's try to do this in the next chapter.